think I've got this set up already. Yeah. Oh. There we go. There we go. Alright, so this is the online implementation of Hanabi here. So like I said, this is a cooperative deduction game. The way this game is set up is that you can't see your own cards. So when you're playing in person, essentially your cards are facing out towards the other players. I can see the cards of the other two players here, but not my own cards. So every time you have a turn, you do one of three things. You either give a clue to another player, telling them something about stuff in their hand, or you play a card from your hand, or you discard a card from your hand. So, Will went first here. He told me I have 2 1s in my hand. The goal is to play the cards in each of the colors, starting from 1 going up to 5. So there's 5 different colors. Perfect score is 25. That's your goal. So he told me about these ones. Is the thing broken? Whoa, laggy. Alright. So, whenever you play or discard a card, you get a new card in your hand. So I went ahead and played the blue one. I didn't know it was the blue one specifically. It didn't matter. You don't need to call the exact card it is, as long as the card is legally playable. Erurumon, you cannot lie to them about your hand directly. You can sort of lie about it by hinting stuff that implies things that are not true. You can lie in that fashion, and occasionally that's even correct. But yeah, so the goal is to work together. When you tell someone something about their hand, you can tell them all of one number or all of one color. So in that case, Will told me I had 2 1s in my hand. Even if I had more 1s in my hand that he didn't want me to tell me about, say they were the same color and repeats, he would have to tell me about all of them. He doesn't have a choice. But there are some indirect ways to lie about it. So, other things you'll notice, there's a clue counter in the bottom right corner. We start with 8 clues. Every time you give a clue to another player, it costs a clue. If you're at 0 clues, you can't give a clue at all. And whenever you discard a card, then you get a clue back. So you notice Ellie told Will about his 3 1s, and 2 of them have the same color. So that means if he tries to play this red one, it's a misplay. It's an illegal play. And if you try to play a card that is not a legal play, you get a wrong. That's not the end of the world, but it is something you want to avoid where possible. So basically, next turn Ellie's going to follow up and clarify that which is which color or what have you. So I'm just gonna trust her do this. You have to do a lot of trust in this game. There's a lot of trust. I'm trusting the fact that Ellie told him about those ones. Mean my one's a different color, and I'm trusting she's gonna follow up and make it so he doesn't play the red one. So I'm gonna go ahead and play mine. It's yellow. So now I'm guessing she's going to say red as a clue here. So what that does is it'll tell him that this one is also red, so it's no good, and this 3 here is red, so it's something he'll save and hold on to because it's a useful card. That would be my assumption, but I maybe have other stuff in my hand that complicates things. So, looking at her hand here right now, I definitely, it works out pretty nicely in this case. So she's got the 5th one we're looking for, so that's helpful. I can tell her to play that. And then she's got 2 1s that I really want to get her to play before she discards anything. At the same time, I also want Will to not discard this too, but he's got a little time yet because he's got this red one to discard and this purple one to play. Lol numbers lol, that is blatant cheating. So you cannot communicate in this game other than the given information. I mean, in person you can also cheat however much you want. You can look at your cards and pretend you won that way, but no, the game is in figuring out what clues to give without cheating it. Normally when you play in person, there's like just a little bit of what we call shame, basically, like you accidentally hint a little information that's not legitimate, but that'll happen, and that's fine. It happens. When you're playing it online, it ends up fairly pure, and you don't really, since you're not directly talking, you aren't communicating illicit information. And you'll also notice in the online implementation, it actually tracks information for you, so you don't have to remember everything. When I play it in person, normally the way we do it is we allow people to be reminded of things they've been told, essentially, so we remove some of the memory element, but not all of it. Another thing you'll notice, so for example, in my hand, I know these 3 cards are not ones. He told me those other 2 cards were ones, that meant everything else in my hand was not a 1. So that negative information can be very powerful sometimes. It can definitely inform a lot of useful plays and such. Oh, don't tell him about purple! I want to save the red 3! Curses! Alright, that's a weaker clue, but alright. This is just triple triad with playing cards. I'm not familiar with RDM, Everygen. Or maybe I am, but I'm not coming to mind with what RDM is. Get her to player 1 here. Oh, Trouble in Terrorist Town. No, that's Triple Triad's only gonna have 2 T's. I was just taking a blind guess. Alright, so I've got a plan here. Will should probably discard as 1, but he might tell Ellie about her 2 2s. That would be great. I'd love for him to tell her about 2 2s, because we've got 4 2s that are playable that I can see. So that would be amazing. I really don't want him to tell me about 2s, because then I can't really hint about their 2s because I don't know if they overlap and such. Greetings, Rule! Yeah, it's multiplayer rule. You want to do it with 3 or 4 players is best. You can also play it with 2 or 5. Alright, so that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. The cards are coming out pretty friendly this time. So we got very, very nice setup. Boom, boom. Get a lot of nice 2s played. We're getting low on clues. We're going to have to start discarding soon, but that's okay. And if you want Trouble in Terrorist Town with cards, Nickelodeon, you're looking at Werewolf or the Resistance. Alright, since he drew this 3 here, that's great. That means Ellie can discard this 3 and it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, reasonable odds my discard is something useful, but it's probably not something terribly important since they haven't told me about it. I just kind of implied something that's not obvious. There's a little bit, it's basically a natural convention. Essentially, when you're discarding a card, you want to discard the card people have had the most time to tell you about. So you discard the oldest card in your hand, and that's going to be my furthest right card. So, yeah, nothing pressing, I just want them to play their 2s and we go to town. So I'll go ahead and discard. I was going to say, I bet it's like a 4. I was gonna guess blue 4 would be my guess, but red 4 is even better, because then we can get her to play her red 4, and that'll be great. Oh, wow! That is amazing! Yeah, this has been a really lucky game. I'm not supposed to get 3 playable cards out of 1 clue. That is not something that's supposed to happen. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. I mean, my other option is to go ahead and tell Ellie about her 4, which she knows is not playable. And have her tell Will about his 3s. Now, we'll go ahead and just have her discard the green 3, because that's a duplicate. So, I assume Ellie will discard now. She might tell me something about my hand. Hey, Kelvaxis! And like I said, you build up negative information. It's not always the most useful, but like, Will hasn't been told anything about this card, but he knows it's not purple, he knows it's not a 2, and he knows it's not a 3. That can be pretty useful at times. And the fact that I let Ellie discard that green 3 implies to Will that one of his 3s is green also. So he knows at least one more of those is nice, safe, and playable. And... yeah, go ahead and tell her about the 4. So I wanted to wait to tell her about the 4 a little bit. It depends on the situation a little bit. But see, so now it's the card she's about to discard. So since I waited that long to tell her, it's most likely something that's not currently playable. It's something important to hold on to. And yes, Snack Style. So the original theme of this game is that you're trying to put on a fireworks show. And yeah, put on the best fireworks show possible. That is the theme of the original game. Trying to get the kitten out. One sec. That cat's been a little bit of a menace. Kind of chewed all the way through my controller cord. But fortunately not enough to actually destroy it. Let's see, what other rules have I kind of glossed over here a bit? Another important thing is the card distribution. So in the deck, there are 3 of each 1, 2 of each 2, 3, and 4, and only 1 of each 5. So that means if you discard any 5, that means you can no longer get a perfect score anymore. Snack Styles, the gameplay is identical. This is just an online implementation using custom card graphics. Let's see. So Ellie told me about yellow. That strongly implies this is the yellow 4. Yeah, that just has to be a yellow 4, so I'm going to play that. So she's only telling me about the card because it's important, so I know it's nothing like a yellow 1, 2, or 3. And if it was a yellow 5, it's way too risky for her to just tell me about that there, because it makes the card look playable. And it's not it's not something I'm about to discard or anything like that, so I'll go ahead and play that. And I'm happy for her to discard for a little while, so that's good. Why would you do that? Why? Why did you think it was... So this is something that happens in this game. You get a little upset with teammates because you're like, why would you do that? And it doesn't make any sense to you. In this case, she for some reason thought I told her about the green 4? But that, I don't know why she thought that. So that was bizarre. That was a really bizarre play on her part, because Will's about to play one more 3, so at the very least she should have waited one more turn to play it. So our top score is 23 now, but that's okay. And yes, the red 5 is now useless, Aruruman. Yeah, there's 2 4s per color, Squirrel. There's only 2 2s, 2 3s, and 2 4s, and 1 5 of each color, and 3 1s. Alright, so no one has been telling me anything. She thought it was better to misplay than to tell me about my hand, so I'm gonna assume this is garbage. Gonna go and discard. Yeesh. That's sad. That is an unfortunate card to lose, but it's probably okay. Hey there, Sec. I mean, that's pretty basic strategy. I'm really, really surprised at that. Alright, so the fact that Will gave her that clue instead of letting me give that clue means that I've got garbage in my discard slot, or Will made a mistake. Because he knows he has a guaranteed discardable card right here, and instead of discarding that and having me give this clue, he gave that clue instead and gives me nothing to do on my turn. So I discard this, and it is in fact garbage. Exactly, Rule. You can give a clue, you can play a card or discard a card. You can only do one of those things, and you have to do one of those things on your turn. You cannot pass. Passing would be really strong, as it turns out. Yeah, lol numbers lol. This is definitely a thinky game. Alright, so we've got 5 clues at this point, so there's no real reason for me to discard, even though I haven't been told anything about my hand. This is a pretty weak clue because it could wait in a lot of cases, but we'll go ahead and get this played. So, yeah. Tell her specifically that one is the yellow 5, so she knows that one's playable. No, another thing that I didn't mention yet is that when you successfully play a 5, you cap a pile, you do get a clue back as well. So that's the one other way to get a clue back, either from discarding or successfully playing a 5. So now we have a nice easy clue to give Ellie as well. We can tell her about 2 green cards, so then she knows that's the 4 and that's the 5. Okay. Will once again gives the clue, meaning that this card better be garbage. That's not the biggest deal, but if, well, I don't know. I think if I was Will, I'd probably discard. Although he knows this isn't a 2 or a 3, so there's kind of reasonable odds this is a 4 as well. I can see it either way there. Rule, no, I don't think you know these guys. Will, you might know Will from Necrodancer. You might have seen him on like the Balls of Steel tryouts for that and stuff. He's probably going to be in the Necrodancer tourney, but I don't think you would know him otherwise. So here I could be a little bit cheeky if I wanted to be. So I can tell Will about his 4. If he's not paying attention, he'll think it's the red 4 and play it, but I'm going to trust that he is paying attention. And I don't really want to discard what could be a purple 4, especially when we're just sitting on piles of clues at this point. So we'll go ahead and just tell him about this 4. He knows this isn't playable. Okay, there's one possible backfire here, though. No, that shouldn't be a problem. The only backfire there would be is if Ellie thought she had the blue 3 in her hand from this clue. But we'll go ahead and just tell him this. This is a little bit of an unusual play, but we've got a pile of clues, so I'm just gonna give that clue and go with it. It's 3 or 4 player for best results, Calvaxis. You can play 2 or 5 as well. Nope, no prerequisites to play every gym. It's a web client a friend of mine made up. Really good implementation. I like how now she draws the blue 3. That's amazing. Hey, Law Jim. The prereq is being awesome. That's to do well. It's not just to play it though. Since we kind of just jumped into it, I'm trying to think if I missed any other rules. I don't think I did. And like I said, you're trying to get as high of a score as possible. 25 is perfect. That's what you're ideally going for. But if you can't get there, you can't get there. Alright, I guess I'm discarding it. If that's the purple 4, I'm going to be angry. Okay, it's garbage. So another thing you'll notice is, yeah, I didn't explain the in-game. So this counter in the bottom left corner, that is how many cards there are left in the deck. So once the very last card of the deck has been drawn, every player, including the person who drew the last card, has one final turn. And that was actually a little bold there, because that I could have told him that clue if it was the purple 4. But apparently I did not draw the purple 2. But yeah, so once the last card of the deck is drawn, everyone, including the person who drew the last card, has one final turn, and then the game ends. Nice, Zoltan. So I'll go ahead and discard. We are really looking for that purple 2 right now. There's 2 left in the last 6 cards at this point. Layla Sight, welcome. Perhaps. I think it's not inappropriate so much as awesome. Yeah, so 5-player Hanabi is a word. Oh, if you're gonna play. One thing you might consider, you probably don't want to worry about it on your very first game, but if you're playing 5-player Hanabi, I would suggest playing with an extra suit. So you just add the extra black suit, because having an extra suit actually makes it easier and it gives you more time. The reason 5-player is kind of worse and a lot harder than 3 or 4-player is because you just don't have enough time to give out all the clues you need to give out. So we still don't have the purple 2. As lucky as the draw was earlier, we're having a little bit of a rough point right here, but that's okay. We're gonna have tons of clues. And yeah, I guess I'll just play this and then Ellie will tell Will about his 5, but then Will will discard. I really don't want Will to discard. Because he's got 2 cards we need to play here. I'm trying to kind of control the flow of the end game a little bit. Greetings, Mirinda! The basic concept of the game is that you can't see your own cards, and you're working together as a team to get everyone to play the cards in the correct order by giving clues to your allies. So basically, when I play this card, we'll be at 8 clues, and we can't go over 8 clues, so that means Ellie won't be able to discard. She'll have to tell Will about his 5, probably. I guess, I mean, there's reasonable odds. There's 50% chance I just draw the purple 2 right there. Alright, let's just go with this, I guess. This is easier, but it's a little dangerous, because if Will draws all the cards in his hand, we might not have time to play them all. Yeah, Kelvax is just selecting the black suit as the extra suit, yes. Don't add the rainbow suit on your first play. That's a very advanced variant that makes the game much harder. A few quick interface notes for people that are off to try their own game of this. If you click on the middle here, you can bring up a full history of all the different plays people have made. And if you hover over the clues in the top right or over specific cards, you can see all the clues, positive and negative, that have been given about them. Okay, so Miranda, the goal is to play all the cards, the 5 different suits, starting from 1 going up to 5. So you want to basically have 25 cards played total. That's a perfect score. On your turn, you can either give a clue to another player, which means tell them all of one number or all of one color. So you have to tell them all of that number or color. You can't tell them part of it. So, like in this case, I could tell Ellie she has 2 red cards, or 2 3s, or 1 5. All of those would be valid clues there. The other things you can do on your turn is play a card. So you're playing a card to the middle, and as long as that's a legal play, it's good to go. You don't need to call your shots. You don't need to know exactly what it is. So if I'm playing a card, if it's the red 4 or the purple 2, it would be a legal play. So that'd be fine in this case. And then the last thing you can do is discard a card, which removes it from the game, and then you can you get a clue back when you discard a card. Squirrel. Well, there's no in-game chat because you're not supposed to talk amongst yourselves. So, he's telling me I have 3 purple cards, and that just means that the card I just drew here has to be the purple 2. If he's telling me that and this isn't the purple 2, he made a big mistake, because he's strongly implying, okay, I just drew this card and that's purple. So clearly that's the card we've been waiting for, and that's the purple 2. So I'll go ahead and play that. Now Ellie should tell him he has 2 purple cards, so he'll know he has the purple 3. I assume one or both of these is the purple 4, but I don't know which. And yeah, as far as other interface things, your name is bolded when it's your turn, and you have the ability to give clues. That stuff in the middle about giving clues is only shown when it's your turn. Alright, so I mean, even if one of these is a 4, let's see, is this any better? No, this is just safe. No reason not to play this safe. We've got 1 card left in the deck. That means as long as neither Ellie or I play or discard, we're good to go here. So I'll just go ahead and tell him about his cards. Ellie should do the same. Miranda, yes. So there's the card distribution for each of the 5 different suits is the same. There are 3 of each 1, 2 of each 2, 3, and 4, and only one of each 5. I mean, we can do it this way too if you want. So like I said, I had the other 4. This is fine. We can do it either way, basically. We can make Will play both of them, or I can play one and Will can play the other. So this is fine. I'll go ahead and play the purple 4, Will will play the purple 5. And we'll get the top score possible after we had already discarded 2 red 4s. You see over here, so that means there's no more red 4s in the game. We can't cap the red stack. The highest we can get is 23, which we will get here. But yeah, so like clues you are generally giving to either protect cards you don't want someone to discard, or you're giving to try to make them play cards. And you kind of have to figure out exactly when to do which, and try to not lie to people, and yeah. But yeah, so that's Hanabi. Like I said, people said they were interested in seeing some board card games, so I'm not exactly sure the best way to go about it and present them and such, but figured that would be a good foray into the world and show it off a little bit here. So what do you guys think? You guys want to see one more of those played with the same people? See if we can get 25. That's probably my thought. Sort of, Miranda. There's definitely conventions that develop over time. Most of those conventions are really natural and just pure logical. For example, discarding your oldest card. Basically, you're discarding the card people have had the least time to tell, or the most time to tell you stuff about, so it's the most likely to be unimportant. Hey, Mikiros! Snack Style. Solitaire refers to about 50 plus games, so that's kind of a vague statement, but if you're just talking about standard, like, Klondike Solitaire, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's kind of a gambling game, if anything. Without much depth to it, certainly. So this is really, really nice. Will's got 3 different colored ones in his starting hand. Very, very nice to see. Ellie has 3 ones as well, and 2 of them overlap, which is a little annoying, but she's got the 2 colors that Will's missing. So, mostly I don't want her to tell me about ones in my hand. That's a bad play by Ellie there, because if this so, I guess I'm assuming this doesn't overlap with, I guess it's not terrible. As long as this is not the same color as any of Will's, it's not terrible. It's just sad because it would have been better to tell her about hers, but that's okay. If this is blue, it's pretty happy. It's more likely to be yellow, of course, but... Okay, so that's blue, that's good. Will can tell her about 2 yellows, and that would work. Miranda, yeah, someone said that in Frag's chat earlier tonight. That doesn't sound at all correct to me, but I guess we will see. Or I guess I'm not sure, rather. Distracted, sorry. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure because I just don't have that much experience with it. So, the one kind of awkward thing about waiting this long to tell Will about his 3-1s, he's probably not going to think all 3 are playable. He's going to probably be a little paranoid, like, oh man, they waited to tell me about it, probably because it's awkward. Hey there, Volt! But yeah, I guess the biggest difference in Klondike Solitaire is if basically how you deal out the rest of the deck. If you do it 3 cards at a time. If you're doing it 1 card at a time, I would say it's probably winnable most of the time. If you're doing it 3 cards at a time, I don't know, you can get really stuck early on. I think. Again, I think. I don't have a huge amount of experience with it. Hey, Butterscotch Pudding! Welcome, sir! If you have any specific questions, always feel free to ask. I'll try to cover the rules again here a little bit. Right now, I'm just a little afraid she's going to think this is another yellow 1 and discard it. But she shouldn't, I don't think. Interesting stack styles, okay. That number sounds fairly believable. Lull numbers lull, so she played her newest one in that case. In the absence of other information, your newer card is more likely to be the important playable card. In that case, if I'm told about the 2 yellow, I probably don't play either, and I just wait. Because it could be the other way around. People waited time to tell me this, so it's not like a standard obvious play, so I don't think I would have played my newest card there. But I gave the clue knowing that she might play her newest, and it was good if she did, so that's kind of where I went with that. So I'm actually considering telling her she has 2 1s. Because she knows Will's got these, and by telling her that, she knows this is not junk. I don't know, that's a really weird play. The standard play right now would probably be to just discard, but I know this card isn't garbage. It's pretty much gotta be something useful. Because it's not a 1 and it's not a 5, so it's a 2, 3, or 4. Almost all of which are going to be useful coming up here. So yeah, so this is a very weird clue. I'm telling her she has 2 1s when she knows that Will has both of the other playable ones. Will can see both of these are not playable. So that means he knows both of his are playable. And it means she should know both of these are discardable, and it means this is not a 1, and thus she should not discard it. So I'm trying to convey all of that information with just this one clue. Vault. The trash can's the discard pile. Okay, butterscotch pudding, and anyone else confused, I'll try to cover it a little bit. Looks like OGT got you a little bit covered as well. So, yeah, the goal is to play out all of the 5 different cards of each of the 5 different colors. So, starting from 1, going up to 5 in blue, green, yellow, red, and purple. And if you do that, you get a perfect 25. That's the goal. You're trying to get as high of a score as possible, basically. And so, on your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can, 1, give a clue to another player. So you choose a player and then tell them all of one color or all of one number. So if I'm telling Will a clue, I have to tell him about both of his 1s. I could do that. I could tell him he has 2 1s. I could tell him he has 2 3s. He has 2 blue cards. 1 purple card. All of those would be legal clues. But you have to tell all of the color and number. I couldn't, for example, tell him he has 1 3 and just neglect to mention this other 3. You have to tell everything that's in his hand. And yes, you cannot see your own cards, but you can see the cards of your allies here. And yes, Sireful, you have to choose to play or to discard. So when you're playing a card, it doesn't. You don't need to know exactly what it is. So you don't need to, like in this case, legal plays are the blue 2, the green 1, the yellow 2, the red 2, or the purple 1. All of those are legal plays. So if I'm playing a card and it's one of those, it's fine. It's a legal play. It goes on the stack, and we're good. If you play something that is not a legal play, it goes to the discard pile, and you get a wrong, which is a mark against you, basically. A wrong's not the end of the world, but if you get 3 wrongs as a team, you automatically lose the game. So you can't get too many wrongs. Additionally, getting a wrong means you don't get a clue back, whereas if you discard a card, you do get a clue back. So discarding is removing a card from the game, and you get a clue back for it. So you start with 8 clues, it goes down every time you give someone a clue and goes up whenever you discard a card. So Will here is probably confused about my clue there. Like I said, that was a weird clue, but I don't really know what else it could mean. And yeah, so there's a uneven card distribution. So you notice there are 3 of the blue 1s here. There's the same distribution in each of the 5 different suits, the 5 different colors there. There's 3 of each 1, 2 of each 2, 2 of each 3, 2 of each 4, and only 1 of each 5. So that's basically why I was told about these 2 5s in my hand already, is because if we discard a 5, we can no longer get a perfect score anymore. So we have to protect the 5s. I mean, you can definitely cheat at it, Miranda, but... but yeah, I mean, there's different levels of cheating at this game. There's definitely that case. There's blatant cheating, which is completely abusing the rules and like openly talking about what's in your hand or being like stuff like that. And then there's the more subtle cheating, which is potentially appropriate for people who are worse at the game and don't want to learn to get better at it. But the more subtle cheating would be like, this card's a 1, and this card's a 1! Something like that, where you're like clearly telling them which card is good and which card is bad. But yeah, so that would be the more subtle cheating. That it's still cheating. It's still not something you're supposed to do by the rules. But some groups will do that, and that's potentially fine. All right, so she still neglected to tell me anything about my hand. It definitely implies it's nothing terribly exciting here. It's a thinking game, Volt. It's a thinking game. They were trying to figure out what I meant by those that 2-1s clue, and I think they figured it out, so that's good. So I'm loosely considering telling her about 3s here, but I think I'll just discard instead. It's obvious this is not a card they care too much about. My guess is it's some random 4. It's a little unfortunate that it's the red 3 that is not too far away from being playable, but so it goes sometimes. Volt, you ask, how do you win? You try to get as high of a score as possible is the technical goal, but winning, quote-unquote, would be getting a perfect 25 score. Marinda, you can give clues to any player, so if you're playing with 4, you can give it left, across, or to your right. You can give clues to any player. Alright, so Ellie's telling me about a 2 here. This should not be a yellow 2, because she knows she has a yellow card that might be the yellow 2. So she should not be telling me about it, if that's the case. So I'm considering having Will save this 3 and this 4 here. I'll just play this, though. I'm like a little too afraid they're gonna misinterpret stuff too drastically. I'm sorry, lol numbers, lol. I can't help discarding good cards if I'm not told to keep them. Hey there, Rough Galaxy! And Will made a comment in a side chat that he was surprised Ellie didn't clue him about the 3-1s on the first turn because they were all playable. And that was part of why I told Ellie about the 2-1s, because I really wanted to enforce to Will, yes, in fact, both of those ones are playable, even though implications were otherwise. Alright, so I waited a turn, and now I'm going to go ahead and save those 2 blue cards from Will. He knows they aren't super important if I'm telling them about them now, but I'm just kind of assuming he's not going to read too much into this, but we'll see how this goes. Since they're both cards he's about to discard if I don't warn him about it, my hope is that he's just going to hold on to them until he has more information. And I kind of expect him to tell her about the purple 4 she just drew. Or, if I have the purple 5, he could get really, really fancy here. So this would be a more advanced play right here, is if he tells me about my purple 5, like, Ellie has to wonder, why is he telling Twinge about the purple 5? That doesn't tell Twinge about anything playable. The only reason that information matters is if their purple 4 is available. And she doesn't see the purple 4, so therefore she knows the purple 4 is in her hand. And she knows the other 4 cards she has are not purple, so the card she drew must be the purple 5, and that's what Will just did. Greetings, Broshock! And yeah, Sek, you choose to play a card and it resolves itself. Yep. Lol numbers, yeah, there's lots of implications here. That's one way to go, Mirinda. I mean, I can actually see that. I can see that tell about a 1, tell about 3 1s play. It's not unreasonable by any means. Alright, so... Ellie missed the clue there. Now we're in a little bit of a pickle, because the green 3s are in both of their next to discard slots. So I need to be careful to make it so they don't both discard those 3s there. So I've got a few options here. I can discard my other purple card, so that further implies that I can see the purple 4, because I know this isn't the purple 4, or it doesn't, or even if it is, it's a duplicate, because otherwise I can't afford to discard it. I can tell Ellie about 2 3s to make sure she hangs on to these. Alright, if I discard this, they aren't both discarding their green 3s. I don't think ever. So I'm gonna just go ahead and discard my my purple card here, which is the 4. That's funny. So right now Ellie has to be like, why did he just discard the playable purple 4 that he was told to play? So she should know she has it in her hand. So what I would like Will to do here is tell her about 3s. I don't think he's going to, but that would be perfect because it means this card has to be the purple 4. So as it turns out, that was a somewhat unfortunate clue by Will, because I think he was just actually trying to tell me to play the purple 4 there. But since Ellie had just drawn the purple 4, I assumed it was a finesse, and she should assume that it's in her hand from me discarding that card. Nope, Volt, there's just 1 through 5 in the 5 different colors there. Mirinda, no, she knows these 3 cards are not purple. If she knew she had the purple 4, it had to be exactly this card. Like, she can both infer it's the newest card, and it actually had to be, because all of her other cards were not purple, because she had been clued about purple. Oh, he told him about 2 3s, yes! Yes, that was exactly what I wanted Will to do. Let's hope Ellie can pick up on that. Like, that's a little complicated, so that's a little convoluted, but hopefully Ellie figures out that that means she has to play this card. When all she's been explicitly told is that it's not a 3. That's all she explicitly knows, is that it's not a 3, but from context she can infer that it's exactly the purple 4. That's fun. That's an option, Sireful. That is definitely an option. I'm kind of trying that ends up costing more clues potentially, Sireful. Whereas this lets me try to hint her about the purple card by discarding instead of by giving a clue. And if you save clues, you get more cards played, basically. Okay, now this I hate. I hate everything about this clue that she just gave. I hate it. Because she knows she has threes, one of which could be yellow. She knows she has a yellow card that is not a 3 or a 1, so that could be a 2 or a 4. So I don't like that she's telling me about yellows here. If this is a yellow 4, I can kinda see it. I guess Will can discard until the end of time, so I'll just go ahead and give Ellie a clue. Yeah, alright. We'll just tell her about purple, I guess. I think that's probably just the most straightforward play. We're gonna have Will discard these cards as much as possible. He's got a lot of time on his cards, so. Like, the implication here is that this is a yellow 2, but it's a really bad clue for Ellie to be giving me because she knows she could have exactly this card that she's already been told about, and that just really muddies things up and gets confusing. Alright, well, we'll go for the safe play here. I mean, Sireful, we get clues back from discards, but we're still spending, like, this clue here should not have had to have been spent, is what I'm saying. It's like, we should not have had to spin that clue. We already wanted to tell Ellie about the threes anyway. And I was going to discard the purple card anyway. So it ends up saving a clue is the goal there from that series of plays. Saving exactly this clue that I ended up having to give anyway, because Ellie missed the finesse and then missed the... Well, she should have missed the finesse, to be clear. She should not have played her purple 4 because I had the other purple 4. But once I discarded it, and then Will told her about threes, she has to know that's the purple 4. Hey, Hyphenated! Alright, so Will can just discard for days. Just days. Nice, Hyphenated. Sireful, well, like I said, once I saw that I discarded the purple 4, though, like, there's a lot of reasons she would have missed the indirect clue there. That one was a lot more subtle. The other one was a lot stacked. There's no reason I should have discarded that card unless she has the purple 4. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot more of a direct clue. Let's see, Will might try to fix this yellow mess here. Bjork, but like I said, all of that information is available clearly by just looking at what she knows about her cards. That's why I don't think it's that much of a stretch, because she can look at her cards, she knows none of these are purple. And she knows the newest card isn't a 4, so the only card that could be a purple 4 would have been exactly this one. And the only way I can discard my purple card I haven't been told anything about is if I see the purple 4. So that's reasonable line of thinking right there that I am a little surprised she didn't pick up on. Miranda, yep. No one's telling Will about his ones. So that's another thing that's maybe that's not going to be obvious at first. Like, it kind of seems like it might be a good idea to tell Will about his ones, because then it's like, oh, we spent 1 clue and he's going to discard 3 cards to get those 3 clues back, and we profit clues. But the problem with that is that we lose a lot of time that way. We essentially spend clues to get more clues, but it costs a lot of time, and we kind of lose tempo. by plays like that. Alright, there we go. So once again, he caught up on that indirect information. That was a good clue by Will. That means she knows this card is yellow, and it's not a 1, not a 3, and not a 4, and I have the yellow 5. So it's definitively the yellow 2, so she goes ahead and plays that, and that's great. So, I mean, this is just awkward. I guess I just go ahead and discard my yellow card. Yeah, at this point I just go ahead and discard this. Like I said, it was bad play by Ellie to tell me to play the yellow 2 that he knew she could easily have. Volt, that is giving illicit information as well. You can't indicate direct information by like ordering or twisting your cards and such. I'm a little surprised Will told me about that because she doesn't know which 3 is the yellow 3. I expected Will to tell Ellie about yellow cards there. Then she just plays the 3, next turn plays the 4, I can play the 5. Yeah, Miranda, as Hyphenated said, if you try to play an illegal card, you get a wrong. It's not the end of the world, but if you get 3 wrongs, it's an automatic loss. Sireful, Final Fantasy IX is a pretty good game. I would almost just recommend like watching Let's Plays of it or something rather than playing through it, so you can maybe, I don't know, skip some of the insanity that is the like 15 seconds to begin every single fight in the game, but alright, I'll go ahead and play this card that Will told me to play. So, yeah, I expect Will to tell Ellie about yellow here. The only awkward spot is if, like, this card is unsafe to discard or something, then things get muddy. Miranda, no, the card is not kept. Sorry, the card is discarded from the game when you try to play it illegally. And you get a demerit, yes, get a wrong there. And you do not get a clue back for it being discarded. Hey there, Arboretic! That is ridiculous, Sireful. That is entirely too much time. Oh my. Now that's interesting. So let's see, we know this card is not a 1, 2, or 5, so we know this is a blue 3 or 4. Since he's telling me about it in this context, I'm going to assume the newest card is a blue 2. Also because if these cards are blue 2s, I would have just been told about it to play them sooner. That would have just happened. So I guess what I probably want Ellie to do at this point is to tell Will 4. I think if she tells him 4, that means I play my blue 2, he can play his blue 3. The only problem there is that she then discards the red 4, which is not a disaster, but we don't want her to discard that if we can help it. That's a big part of why I'm surprised she hasn't been told yellow at this point. See, now she yes, that's too bad. If we told her yellow, like I expected Will to do, then we could have ended up telling her that she had red cards and she would have the red 3 and 4 and it would have been great. Will just knows these are blue and not ones. I think he can assume from context pretty clearly that neither is a 2. And if this right here is the blue 5, he obviously knows that it's not the 5 either. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and play the blue 2 here. I mean, my guess is this is the other 3-4, which is a little sad, but... There you go. Your turn late, Will! She already discarded the good card. But yeah, as far as Final Fantasy IX goes, it's a pretty good game. It pretty much just falls apart in the last like third or so, and it's kind of goes into crazy nonsense town. So this is a little silly, because like I said, this might be just a repeat 3 and 4, but we want to get these things played, and get them played now rather than later. And we know Ellie's got to play next turn, I've got to play next turn, so let's give Wilson plays. Let's go ahead and tell him about his 4, so he knows the other's a 3. Potentially hyphenated, potentially. Especially with the, yeah, it can become really awkward. But it's unlikely to be too terrible. We'll see how it goes, though. Marinda, because I had already told Will earlier that those 2 cards were blue. I just basically told him that so he would hold on to them, which he did. Sireful. I just meant plot-wise, not that the town specifically that they were going to was silly. Just that the plot went off the deep end and became very, very silly. I don't really know what Ellie is pausing for. She just has to play the yellow 4. Okay, and her draw was not terribly awkward, so we'll go ahead and play the yellow 5. Will probably tell Ellie about red. Yeah, there it is. That's when I told him about blue cards way back. Yep. Discolda, welcome. Yes, Miranda, when you successfully play a 5, you get a clue back as well. Correct. I have not played any Final Fantasies past 10. I don't think I ever want to. Yep, exactly, lol numbers. So I know this is a safe discard because it can't be the 5. This card here could be the 5 though, so that could be a little awkward. I'm not going to discard that one without more information. I might even just try to play it depending on where the game's at. My turn's pretty easy, Marinda. I just discarded this card. Yep. And this card has to be a 3 or 4, but that's okay. Oh, that sounds terrible, Sireful. I don't like the sound of that at all. I don't really like the look of Ellie's hand at all. That's terrible. So we basically want to be getting more the remaining playable cards into my hand and Will's hand, and Ellie to be giving clues. But yeah, I don't really have a choice. This is just clear discard. So I think Will should play a card, and then Ellie should hopefully give one of us a clue. That's where... Whoa! Okay, so he chose not to play his guaranteed playable card, but he didn't discard it either. That's weird. I don't really understand that. If this is the blue 4, maybe he discards this so that I play this, but that's probably a mistake too. I don't really know why he didn't just play the blue 4. I mean, the fact that he didn't, I guess, it kind of hints that this is not the blue 5, I would say. I would say this is not the blue 5 because he didn't play that. So that means... Huh. Could still be a blue 2, or most likely probably just the blue 4. So it's either blue 2 or blue 4. I'll go ahead and give this clue because I want Will to go ahead and play that. We are definitely running out of time here. Hey, Sasha Vault. Greetings, Monolithic! I should have had a link to the rules handy. That would have been helpful for sure, with people kind of coming in gradually, but... Will, what the hell are you doing, buddy? What is he doing? He knows this is the blue 4. I don't understand. So, another thing about this game is normally you want to trust your teammates are doing things for a reason. So I'm trying to figure out what the reason is. He knows this is guaranteed a blue 4 playable 100% of the time. But he's not discarding it to get me to play this. He's just not playing, and he's not playing the known playable card either. I don't understand that at all. That just seems... I think that just has to be a mistake. I don't think it could be anything but a mistake on his part. But yeah, Monolithic, if you missed the link earlier there, you need people to play with, but a friend of mine made the online client you can play on. That is linked there in chat. We are really desperately looking for a green 2 at this point. I don't think... Yeah, we're not really going to have enough time. We technically still could, but... It's going to have to pin out just about perfect. Like, Will has to play that blue 4. And then draw the green 2. Which, I mean, it's 2 and 5 that he draws the green 2, but... I still need Will to play that card. If he wanted me to play mine, he should have discarded his. That's what I don't understand. He was discarding instead of playing it, or discarding this card. It's very, very odd. Sireful, if times are desperate, she can assume it's a red 5, but she probably wouldn't by default. Like, it could be a red 5. When you're telling people information about cards, you really do want to avoid telling them information about cards that are meaningless, that don't help them at all. But sometimes you just have to. Discolata, but if he's not playing it because I have it, he should discard the blue 4 itself. That's what I'm saying. If he's trying to have me play the blue 4 instead, he knows his card is exactly the blue 4, so he should just discard that. Instead, he's discarding a different card. Wow, we still didn't get the green 2 there. That's a nightmare. And the fact he didn't play it earlier means I can't just play this assuming it's the blue 5, because he really strongly hinted, no, you don't have the blue 5, because I don't want you to play your card right now. Huh. Well, I need to get playables into my hand, so I just need to discard, and then they both need to give me clues about the, frickin' green 2 I just drew, basically. And I've got the blue 5 either in my hand or it's in the bottom 3 cards as well. So that's really making me paranoid this is the blue 5, but Will already told me it's not the blue 5. So that's why I'm confused. Yeah, sire, he explicitly knows it's the blue 4. Mezzo. It could be a rough game, for sure. Zavash, welcome. You don't exactly lose points playing the wrong card, so if you try to play an illegal card, you get a wrong, a check mark against you, which isn't the end of the world. That card then goes to the discard pile, but if you get 3 wrongs, you automatically lose. I mean, I guess I just have to discard this. I hate doing that, but I guess my only other choice is to tell him about the 4, but I've effectively been told I don't have any playable cards in my hand, so... And they've got 1 and 2 respectively, so I need to get the playable cards into my hand. There's the 2. Alright, Ellie, do not discard. We don't have time. We don't have time. Tell Will about his 4. Tell Will about his 4. She's gonna discard, I think. Verlord 4, welcome. See, I considered that, but I guess I should have counted it out, is what I should have done. Should have counted it out to see. But, let's see. Yeah, we probably didn't need the extra clue, actually. That's true. Like, basically, I wasn't sure if we were going to need the extra clue, and I should have spent the time to kind of count it out and figure out if we were going to need the extra clue or not, and thus risked playing it. We only needed the one clue there, because Will couldn't take a turn there because there's only one card left in the deck. She's got to play the 3. When she doesn't draw the blue 5, then I play, I think, my newest card, assuming that's the blue 5, and don't play this one, because Will really went out of his way to tell me this was not the blue 5, as far as I'm concerned. Mirinda, you run out of time in this game, so once the last card of the game is drawn, right there... Damn. Yep. Once the last card of the game is drawn, everyone, including that person, has one more turn. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter what I do here. Will plays the 4, Ellie plays one of her 5s, and then doesn't have time to play the last one. Zivash. So the card distribution in this game, there's 3 of each 1, 2 of each 2, 2 of each 3, 2 of each 4, and only 1 of each 5. So that's the card distribution. There's more of the cards you need to play earlier.